Blatz Light came along with a popular price, and things started going down real nice.
Bergie's comfortable all the time, and every time it startles you with splashing wet refreshment, it just...
He likes the taste of Drewrys. Here's to the man who drinks beer cold. He likes the taste of Drewrys. It's the...
Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're taking a nostalgic trip back to the 1970s to explore 10 popular beers that defined a decade. Whether you remember them fondly or you're curious about the tastes of the past, this journey through brews is sure to spark some memories.
Misled by appearances, like a fancy label. You gotta ignore fancy labels and just look for taste. You'll find it in Schmidt's. Schmidt's, to taste it is to love it.
Schmidt's beer, brewed by the Christian Schmidt Brewing Company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was once a staple in American bars and homes. Originating from a small brewing operation in 1860, Schmidt's expanded rapidly, becoming a major player in the American beer industry by the mid-20th century. During the 70s, Schmidt's beer was particularly popular, known for its distinctive taste and affordable price. It became synonymous with working-class America, enjoyed across backyard barbecues and sports events. The company was innovative, introducing various beer types that catered to diverse tastes, including Schmidt's Light and Schmidt's Ale. Schmidt's was ahead of its time in marketing, adopting memorable slogans and engaging commercials that resonated with the average American. Their campaigns often featured real-life scenarios that depicted the beer as a perfect companion for relaxation and friendship. The turning point came when the Christian Schmidt Brewing Company was sold in 1987. Under new ownership, the brand struggled to maintain its identity and market share. Eventually, production under the Schmidt's label decreased, leading to its disappearance from mainstream markets.
Thirst-quenching extra dry beer. Refreshing, not sweet.
Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Rheingold beer was once a powerhouse in the American brewing industry, especially prominent in the 70s. This brand, known for its distinctive flavor and deep roots in New York, had a considerable impact on beer culture and consumer choices during that era. Originating from a brewery established in 1883, Rheingold quickly became synonymous with New York beer drinking. By the 70s, it was particularly famous for its annual Miss Rheingold contest, where consumers voted for their favorite female models who appeared in the company's advertisements. This marketing strategy not only boosted the beer's popularity, but also ingrained it in the local culture. The 70s were the golden years for Rheingold beer, as it held a significant market share in New York. It wasn't uncommon to see Rheingold ads plastered in subways, on billboards, and across radio stations. They even had sponsorships with the New York Mets, enhancing their visibility and connection with sports fans. By 1976, the company faced significant financial difficulties, and the original brewery was sold. Although Rheingold attempted a few comebacks in various forms, it never regained its former glory and eventually faded from mainstream availability.
Blatz Light came along with a popular price, and things started going down real nice. It's got plenty of taste, I just want to say, because it's fully brewed to quality.
Blatz beer, once a household name in America, saw significant popularity in the 70s. Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1851, Blatz was among the first to establish a name in the bustling American beer industry. During the 70s, Blatz beer was renowned for its robust marketing campaigns and a taste that resonated with the American middle class. The beer's branding was everywhere, from billboards to TV ads. Blatz was part of the Big Four breweries in Milwaukee, standing alongside giants like Schlitz, Pabst, and Miller. This era was marked by fierce competition among these giants, each vying for the lion's share of America's beer market. Blatz managed to carve out a niche by emphasizing its heritage and quality. It touted itself as Milwaukee's finest beer, appealing to both tradition and local pride.
More and more people, right here in Milwaukee, have come to realize that Blatz is the finest of all the fine beers.
Despite the fierce competition, Blatz held its own thanks to loyal customers and aggressive promotional strategies. In 1959, Pabst Brewing Company acquired Blatz, and although the brand continued under new ownership, it never regained its former glory. Blatz is still available in certain areas, primarily in Wisconsin.
The gusto you can, the life you live, the work you do, even in the beer you drink. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
In the 70s, Schlitz beer was a household name in America, famous for its distinctive taste and aggressive marketing campaigns. Once dubbed the beer that made Milwaukee famous, it's worth exploring why Schlitz faded into relative obscurity. Schlitz Brewing Company, founded in 1849 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, became the largest producer of beer in the U.S. by 1902. The 70s saw Schlitz peaking in popularity, thanks in part to its catchy advertising slogans like, "When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer." Schlitz was known for sponsoring major TV shows and sporting events, helping it to embed itself in American culture. The brand's success in the early 70s can be largely attributed to its innovative marketing strategies. Schlitz was one of the first to use pop-top cans and was a pioneer in low-calorie beer with the introduction of Schlitz Light in 1976. These innovations kept the brand at the forefront of the beer industry. By the 80s, the damage to its reputation and market share was irreparable. The once giant Schlitz was sold to Stroh Brewery Company in 1982 and later became part of Pabst Brewing Company. Today, Schlitz is brewed in limited quantities, primarily catering to niche markets, nostalgic for historical brands.
It's the best cold beer in town, the very best cold beer in town. Go ahead and ice it down, you'll like the taste of Drewrys.
In the 70s, Drewrys beer was a familiar name in the American beer market. Originating from South Bend, Indiana, Drewrys was established under its Canadian founder E.L. Drury in 1877. The brand gained traction for its affordable price and decent quality, becoming particularly popular in the Midwest. During the 70s, Drewrys beer stood out due to its catchy advertising and widespread availability. The company marketed itself as offering a hearty beer at a working man's price, which resonated well with the blue-collar demographic of the time. Drewrys was known for its distinctive logo, which featured a Mountie, symbolizing its Canadian heritage. This branding helped the beer maintain a robust presence in bars and stores across several states. Despite its popularity, Drewrys faced stiff competition from larger national brands like Anheuser-Busch and Miller. By the mid-70s, the impact of this competition began to show, as Drewrys struggled to maintain its market share. By the late 80s, the once popular Drewrys brand had all but disappeared from the market. The brewery in South Bend closed down, and the brand faded into obscurity. Today, Drewrys is a relic of the past, remembered mostly by beer aficionados and those who lived during its heyday.
Tastes best, refreshes you best. Glass after glass after glass. That's Hamm's, the one right beer for those who want another.
Hamm's beer, once a popular brand in the United States, especially in the 70s, has seen a significant decline in visibility and availability today. This post explores the history of Hamm's during its peak years, why it resonated with many Americans, and reasons for its decreased popularity. Founded in 1865 by Theodore Hamm in St. Paul, Minnesota, Hamm's beer grew to become a significant player in the American beer market. By the 70s, it was renowned for its refreshing taste and memorable marketing campaigns. One of the key strategies that boosted Hamm's popularity was its advertising. The brand was famous for its slogan, "From the land of sky blue waters," accompanied by commercials featuring a cartoon bear in various humorous escapades in pristine wilderness settings. These ads played a significant role in embedding the brand in American culture. Originally family-owned, the brewery was sold in 1968 to Goebel, a company primarily focused on spirits. This change marked the beginning of a series of sales that would see Hamm's lose its identity. It was later owned by Pabst Brewing Company and eventually by Miller Coors, which phased out many of Hamm's traditional practices.
More refreshing people, Fergie is crisp and cool and bright.
What if they have some other brand of beer in the refrigerator?
Burgermeister beer, often simply called Burgie, was a popular brew in the United States during the 70s. Originating from San Francisco, it was known for its affordability and distinct taste, which made it a favorite among beer enthusiasts of that era. During the 70s, Burgermeister capitalized on the booming beer market in America. At its peak, it was widely distributed in the West, particularly in California, where its roots were strongest. The brand was owned by the Burgermeister Brewing Corporation, which was eventually acquired by Schlitz Brewing. This move initially helped boost the brand's visibility and market share. Burgermeister's marketing strategies were straightforward and effective. They often emphasized the beer's heritage and quality at an affordable price. The company sponsored local events and sports teams, embedding itself into the local culture and community life. These efforts made Burgie a household name in many regions. Despite its initial success, Burgermeister beer faced challenges by the late 70s. The acquisition by larger breweries such as Schlitz did not go as planned. By the early 80s, Burgermeister beer was gradually phased out.
Happy thought is right. When you serve Goebel at dinner time or any time, you're sure to make a hit. Today, Goebel is better than ever.
Goebel beer was a significant player in the American beer market, particularly during the 70s. It was brewed by the Goebel Brewing Company, which had been operational since 1873 in Detroit, Michigan. Known for its light and crisp taste, Goebel beer was marketed as a budget-friendly option compared to other mainstream brands. During the 70s, Goebel beer carved out a niche for itself among American beer drinkers. Its affordability made it a popular choice during a decade marked by economic challenges, including the oil crisis and inflation. Goebel offered a 12-ounce Bantam bottle, which became iconic, appealing to those looking for smaller, more manageable beer servings. The changing tastes of beer drinkers also played a crucial role in the decline of Goebel beer. By the late 70s, there was a growing preference for beers with richer flavors and higher quality ingredients. The Goebel Brewing Company struggled to adapt to these shifting market dynamics and eventually ceased operations. The Goebel beer brand was discontinued, and by the end of the 70s, it had largely faded from the American beer scene.
Isn't that something? Now Lucky opens without an opener.
Lucky Lager was a popular beer in America during the 70s. Originating from the West Coast, this brand was known for its unique marketing strategies and affordable pricing, making it a favorite among many. Lucky Lager was first brewed in 1934 by the General Brewing Company in San Francisco. By the 70s, it had become a household name in the western United States. Its logo, featuring a distinctive blue and white label with a large Lucky emblazoned across it, became iconic. The brewery emphasized freshness and local production, often boasting that its beer was as fresh as your neighbor's garden produce. One of the key elements that set Lucky Lager apart was its marketing. The company was one of the first to use puzzles on the underside of its bottle caps, a tactic that became a talking point and encouraged consumer engagement. People often bought Lucky Lager not just for the beer, but for the fun of solving these puzzles. Throughout the 70s, Lucky Lager expanded its production facilities, with plants not only in California, but also in Vancouver, Washington, and Arizona. This expansion helped meet the high demand for the beer in the West. However, the beer industry was becoming increasingly competitive. Bigger brands with larger marketing budgets began to dominate, and regional beers like Lucky Lager started losing market share. The production of Lucky Lager eventually ceased in the late 2000s, as it could no longer sustain itself against the competitive and changing market.
That Wiedemann, that's one fine beer.
During the 70s, Wiedemann's fine beer was a prominent name among American beer enthusiasts. Brewed by the George Wiedemann Brewing Company, which was founded in Newport, Kentucky in 1870, the brand gained recognition for its rich heritage and distinctive taste. The brewery was best known for producing a type of lager that became highly popular in the Midwest. In the 70s, Wiedemann's expanded its market reach, leveraging its reputation for crafting a quality product with a unique flavor. The beer's profile was characterized by a light, crisp taste, appealing to a broad audience who desired refreshing beverages. The company's strategic marketing campaigns and widespread distribution played key roles in cementing Wiedemann's status as a household name during this decade. By the late 70s and early 80s, the American beer industry witnessed a significant shift towards consolidation, with larger breweries absorbing smaller ones. The George Wiedemann Brewery struggled to maintain its market share against these conglomerates. In 1983, the brewery was sold to Heilemann Brewing Co., marking the beginning of the end for Wiedemann's as an independent label. Over the years, the brand saw several ownership changes, each moving away from the original recipes and brewing techniques that had defined Wiedemann's fine beer. Did any of these beers from the 1970s bring back memories? Or are you curious to try what was popular back in the day? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more blasts from the past and explore more forgotten favorites with us.